Welcome to Evergreen Speedway's Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11.
Welcome into the very first DriftCon of 2025 here on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. Greenshields Industrial bringing you DriftCon today. Our program brought to you by All Ply Roofing LLC. I am Caleb Hart, and with me, the one, the only, the real world champion, Danger Ben White, in the house for Drifting 2025, the first one. Ben, welcome back. Excited for this.
Dude, I'm super excited. I didn't actually get to go and be there at this DriftCon at the season opener, but I'm stoked. We had the Big Bounty Tournament, which included 64 of the best drivers from the Pacific Northwest and beyond.
Correct, yeah.
Out here at Evergreen Speedway, tire shredding action. The Drift Gods blessed us with some great weather and some great tire action. So let's check it out, dude.
It's an international field. You are right. In fact, in round number one, EJ Radke and Rikuto Horuchi out of Japan are going after each other. It's the Lexus versus the BMW. This first run is up and underway, and our first look at the course for the afternoon.
Yeah, this is our traditional Big Bounty Tournament layout here. So we're using the access road off of turn 3, going the wrong way, coming into the infield, watching people spin out, watching some FPV footage of this, and that Lexus looks awful familiar to me. I can't quite place it, but we're checking out EJ as he rips around this course, looking good. Pedal to the metal. He's got that tire smoke, that plume, that commitment right there, looking good as he crosses the finish line. There's a little bit chaotic with the camera views, but we'll try and dial in the course layout and exactly how it goes down, all these clipping points and zones, etc., etc.
Well, and this very first run was just a seeding run. We'll see these drivers. Yes, we'll see these drivers coming up once again. As let's flip them around. It is Rikuto Horuchi from Japan near Tokyo. That's the Navy BMW who's out in lead. And in chase mode, EJ Radke out of Sammamish, the light blue Lexus rolling around.
Yeah, EJ now in the chase position behind Rikuto, looking super comfortable right there, ready to get to his competitor's door. I mean, Rikuto spun on his chase run, but EJ has no problem putting it right next to his door. He is comfortable in that car. He's looking settled. Awesome to see right there.
Nice little style at the end there from Horuchi as he ends up spinning around right as he crosses the finish. So next run is coming up. Radke is the winner of that round number one. Hey, kudos to the production crew. That's a nice little throw-in that they got.
That is a nice graphic they got there. 2025, looking like we're coming up here, dude.
Hi, Derek and Emily and everybody doing some pretty good work on that. All right, this is also a seeding run. Lucas Dorado, the white Nissan, and Roman Samoilov. Samoilov?
Yeah, you can pronounce however many vowels you want. It doesn't matter. No one's paying attention.
I will buy that vowel.
But what we're paying attention right now is Lucas Dorado out in front in that white S14, JZ Power under the hood. He looks super good out there. I mean, at the earlier parts of the run, he tossed on a lot of angle, didn't have a lot of grip in the back to catch him, so he was kind of, compensating for that. Roman had to back off as a result of that, so kind of a weird situation there on run number one. We're going to get a replay here, so you see Lucas throws it in super hard and goes to lock, so Roman has to back off to avoid contact. Lucas, ejecto bumper, as he's going through the rest of the course, but here we go. Lucas, a very stylish car, very stylish driver, so that's what we like to see, like a very well put together car. Looks like it's very well thought out. Roman's less so, but you know what? His driving is speaking for itself, and it's making up for it. So looking pretty good as they cross the finish line on run number one.
Yeah, not the prettiest car. It's definitely a smorgasbord of colors and panels and oh my, but hey, performance matters. Prettiness doesn't make the car any faster.
No, and he's wheeling that thing around pretty good. Look at that nice snap to lock there. Lucas right there, keeping that proximity, doing a good job here, but Roman doing what he should do in that lead position, right? He's trying to get into all these outer zones, all these inner clips, trying to navigate through the course the way that the judges want him to and the way that the chase driver is going to anticipate him doing so he can keep that proximity. So nice job from these two. This is going to be a close one as far as the judges are concerned.
And again, that was a seeding run. Here's the replay on it, and one more chance to roll this back and see how it all went down from our fantastic drone shots, and we'll give them some love and credit a little bit later on in the program, multiple times over the program.
Yeah, when the graphic comes up so we can get their names correct, right?
So we can remember it.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly. But we keep saying seeding run, and we said earlier there were 64 drivers that showed up. The judges watched them practice and put them in a Jaeger bracket, so that was groups of 8 based on skill, so they could battle their way through and have like-skilled competitions, like-skilled battles to whittle it down to 32. So like we say, hey, look at this, like-skilled battle. It was too close to call. Driver A didn't win, driver B didn't win. We're going one more time with Lucas and Roman. So we're going to get to see them a little bit later, possibly, somewhere.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, this is an actual real round. This is round of 32 action. The red Mustang, that's Cody Smith. Glenn Vanoy from Burlington's in the black Nissan 240.
Okay, and Glenn having a little trouble there, a little failure to launch. There's Cody Smith out in front. I believe Cody Smith is actually driving EJ's old car. It was blue, and it was very distinctively EJ's, so he switched it right up, went to red, I believe, don't quote me on that, but he is looking good. It looks like he's able to basically keep that thing floored and just steer that thing around, and it's awesome to see. I like what I'm seeing there.
Dad, Grandpa, and Mom, the sponsor on the red car, they must be awfully proud. Pretty good run in the round of 32. And
oh, yeah.
Let's take a look at the replay, and it all goes very, very badly here for Vanoy relatively early.
Yeah, so Glenn, I don't know if the car just cut out or what happened, or I don't know as far as, what kind of power he's making in the car. Maybe it overrode the clutch, something, but it just had a bad time. But the thing about these battles is the lead driver dictates the pace of the run. So even though the chase driver has incompleted the run, the lead driver needs to complete the run all the way to the finish line. And Cody Smith just made it look easy in that Mustang.
So let's go back to Drifting 101 for the people who are tuned in to maybe drifting for the very first time here on Home Track Heroes. It is our first show of the year for that. Scoring is based on what?
So scoring is based on a few different criteria laid out by the judges. So we have 3 judges, so we always have a tiebreaker, and they are always going to be looking at the line, the angle, and the style. So the line is the predetermined course layout that the judges laid out in the drivers' meeting. So you see that there's barrels all over, there's lines painted on the course. Those are the zones. So a lot of them are outer zones. We want to get the back of the car in those zones, and that's going to be the line score. Now, the angle score is how sideways can they get?
Sure.
Right? It's a controlled oversteer. Let's see how far you can get that thing to 90 degrees. We want to see some forklift level angle out here. So that is the angle thing. And, there's spots that they know you can't get full angle, but they want to see them maximize it out. And they want to also see when you're transitioning, you get to that angle quick and you hold it there. And that also goes into the style thing. So the rates to angle go to style. The smoke coming off the back of the car, it shows you're committed. That goes to style. Cody Smith styling onto the next round right here. But these are all the line, angle, and style is the most important. So we put these cars up next to each other. So in a battle, you're going to see driver A and driver B. Driver A will lead the way first. The higher qualified, higher seated driver will lead the way first. They will set the pace. Driver B is just supposed to stay as close as they can to them, all right? Driver A is trying to do as good of a job, do a perfect lead run. Driver B is trying to stick it to their door and keep that proximity nice and tight. As we see right now, Josh Weens trying to keep it up close with Patrick Heald. With Patrick Heald, exit stage right as we're trying to explain Drifting 101 right here. But
and that's not going to score you any points.
And that's not going to score you any points. And like we said, the lead driver dictates the pace of the run. So as soon as the lead driver incompletes, that's the end of the run there. So driver A, unfortunately, looked like he incompleted on this run. And now driver B is going to have a big advantage. We're going to go to the second half of this battle after this replay, and we're going to see driver B, which is Josh Weens in the G35. He is going to lead the way. So they're going to reverse roles. Now driver B gets to set the pace. He gets to set up a lead run. And driver A is going to have to chase him down and try and stick it to his door. And based on, who establishes dominance out there on track, the judges make a decision and send the winner on to the next round.
Well, let's get a look at the next run. And this is going to be a solo run. So yes, Patrick Held out of Snohomish in the purple Nissan, sponsored by Zeknola US, must have broke. Couldn't continue on. Weens gets a solo try, which I'm guessing good track time here for later on. Just can use this as a practice session because he knows he's moving forward.
100%, because you can never know. It's almost like a football thing or a baseball thing where you're not constantly going. You don't get 50 laps on the track. You don't get to constantly be going. So as much muscle memory as you can store in your brain is, it's vital in these competitions like this. So, and this one, there's no pressure on Josh Weens out here. He gets a free run at it. He gets to go check it out, throw something out. You see that the track is actually getting, cloud cover over it. So based on the temperature of the track, it might need, dictate a change in car setup. It's stuff like that that you want to be able to go out there, try something, do something cool, and you know what? It might work in your favor later in the rounds.
All right, let's take a look at this one. Torin McMullen leads him down, the Nissan 350. That's the white car, sponsored by Mike's Performance. Chad Wilson is chasing him. That's the gray 350Z, sponsored by Jam Electric.
I like how specific that we have to get with some of these cars sometimes, right? We have the white 350Z, and then we have the silver 350Z. So Torin McMullen coming from Oregon, he's out front. He's the higher-seated driver, looking very good out in the lead position. I'm not sure on his power plant, but I know Chad Wilson, he's got the V8 power. He's got a 6-liter LS under the hood of that 350Z, and it has been, it working in his favor. He had a supercharged VQ, and it just wasn't working out for him. He added 2 cylinders to that thing, and he has been looking very, very good. But not taking anything away from Torin McMullen right now. You see the commitment, that smoke line. That means he's on throttle. He's committed right there. Chad Wilson cutting the line a little bit to try and get some proximity, as Torin McMullen did also as well did that. So these are all things that the judges are going to take into consideration as they make their decision. But now we're going to reverse the order. Driver B, Chad Wilson, he is going to lead the way now, and Torin McMullen is going to chase him down.
All right, we'll see how it changes up when you put the Oregon driver in the trail position, like Oregon should be most of the time. It's nice to have them behind.
100%.
Yes.
Those little brothers.
Never trust a state where you can't pump your own gas.
I 100% agree.
Good run here from Wilson, as he's looking very technically solid in and through. Not a gigantic smoke line, but he is getting into all the zones.
It's smooth. He looks smooth and predictable out there, right? And so that's going to be just induce a whole bunch of confidence in that chase driver. You can't have a good chase run unless you have a good lead run. And Chad Wilson, nice, smooth, and predictable out there. And Torin McMullen, he got a little caught up here. He threw a little bit of angle in the chase position, but right there, tucks in the pocket, gets right there, see some left foot braking, trying to keep that wheel speed up, the vehicle speed down. But look at these two side by side. Ooh, Torin McMullen almost pulling out more angle than Chad Wilson as they go through the latter parts of the track. But Chad Wilson, look at that, pulling out the win out there, looking a little bit more consistent, a little bit more smooth out there, and works in his favor.
More round of 32 action coming up. This is Alex Lindsay, familiar driver here on Home Track Heroes. It is the Nissan 240. They say it's pink. That's almost purple, right?
I call it the framboise, the raspberry.
There you go. I like it. William Land at a Gig Harbor is in the big winged red Nissan 240.
Yeah, the big. I've seen bigger wings.
Agreed.
I mean, it's a good-sized wing that he's got going there, but come on. If you're going to say it's a big wing, I've seen bigger wings.
I have seen massively bigger wings.
Come on, Billy Land.
Let's go.
Let's not misrepresent our wing size here.
Well, the beautiful raspberry car has definitely got some angle and some smoke showing here in this lead run, and Land is losing proximity to him. That's a big no-no.
Yeah, I mean, Alex Lindsay is just a shredder. He's a veteran here at Evergreen Speedway, and in this 14, man, he's won with his machine. I mean, every time he comes out there, he is just absolutely shredding. He's in the lead position right here. And I mean, as soon as he goes through the mid part of the track, he starts stretching his legs. He starts stretching that gap. And I mean, Willie Land is just doing his best to hang on for the ride.
I can't believe I'm about to quote Transformers here, but it's not like the driver picked the car here. The car picked the driver.
Oh.
Eh?
Autobots, roll out.
Let's get another look. Flip them and roll forward. Lindsay, by the way, in the Raspberry car, sponsored by SpeedTech Auto. Tire Streets sponsors the William Land machine.
All right, so Willie Land out front. Alex Lindsay having to temper his beast a little bit back here in the chase position, doing a good job of maintaining speed, maintaining proximity, and not getting into the door of his competitor right here. Willie Land looking pretty good out front. He's got that clean air in front of him, and looks like he's very comfortable out there, but how could you not see that Raspberry machine in your peripherals right now as Alex Lindsay sticking it to his door through the whole course, looking very good out there.
I think I know who's going to win this one, but let's get one more look here from the drone shot. The big overhead look. Very, very cool to start this one out. Yeah, I think this is Alex Lindsay's world. We're just living in it.
I mean, we talk about they have to establish dominance out there on track, and I mean, this is just Alex Lindsay's run right here, just sticking it to the door. Willie Land looked good out front. Right? He looked good, he looked smooth, consistent, and that's what made Alex Lindsay comfortable was sticking it to his door. But I mean, even if it was a chaotic run, Alex Lindsay's crazy. He's going to stick it to the door, and he's going to stick it to the next round.
There you go. Round of 32 action continues at the Big Bounty Tournament next here on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. We are in the round of 32 for the Big Bounty Tournament here on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. Big Bounty Tournament brought to you by Greenshields Industrial, and our show brought to you by All Fly Roofing. I am Caleb Park. He is Danger Ben White. And more round of 32 action coming up here, Ben, with John Daniel making his first appearance of the year here on Home Track Heroes.
Yeah, and up on the start line with him is PJ Bolt. Two shredders out here at Evergreen Speedway, but John Daniel, like 300-time Grassroots champion of the world, over the offseason added a little bit more horsepower. He wanted to compete with some of these big boys, step his game up, and he's out there in the lead position, the higher-seated driver in this battle, and he's looking pretty good out front. That extra horsepower bump definitely treating him right, but PJ Bolt right there with him at the end of the track, at the end of the course layout, but you know, wasn't really a huge factor throughout the middle of it.
All right, so Ballpark, oh, and by the way, big thank you to Zero Sympathy FPV and Armani FPV. They're doing our drone work here for us on Home Track Heroes. Do you know how much horsepower he actually ended up adding?
All of it.
Nice.
All of the horsepower.
I mean, if you're not going to add horsepower, why not add all of it?
Exactly.
It makes sense. So.
Yeah.
But you can see it. I mean, we had talked previously on this show about John, how technically proficient he was, how good at the course he was, but he just needed a little more extra giddy up, and now that car has it.
Yeah, he sees, the Tyler Mayers, the Matt Reshetsky's out here having so much fun being on top of the podium in these big DriftCon events, and he's like, I want to be there too. Has that horsepower bump, says it's treating him good. Let's see how it does in the chase position now. As PJ Bolt, he's going to be out in the lead position in that black C6 Corvette, knocking some barrels around.
With them gold wheels.
With them gold wheels, black and yellow. Huh?
Hey.
You know what it is?
I do. All right, so we're into the final portion of the course, and this is a good battle. Bolt and Daniel just getting after it. Good lead runs, good chase runs between them. Judges are going to have a hard job here.
Yeah. I'm curious to see on this replay. I want to check it out. It was PJ who knocked those barrels around, right? So that's going to be considered a little bit of a mistake by the judges. Oh no, it might have been John Daniel who knocked him around. So he might have gone a little bit deep in that zone. So the judges might frown upon that a little bit. Man, these C6 Corvettes, once they figured out how to put some steering angle in them, I mean, they're race cars from GM. Those cars haul, and you could see a lot of mechanical grip in that car. And John Daniel's doing everything he can to stick right there with them and keep that proximity there. It's a tough one for the judges here, but you know what? They decided John Daniel gets the win.
Forward he goes. All right, so here's the replay of the seating battle that we had from earlier. That is Lucas Dorado, the white Nissan, the multicolored Nissan, Roman, many vowels last name.
Yeah, Samoylov.
Samoylov?
Samoylov.
Gesundheit.
Yeah, thank you.
Whoa, big feint going into the first turn from Dorado.
Oh, yeah, so it's a one more time. He knows he has to do something a little bit different to wow the judges. Interesting strategy here, Cotton. Let's see how it plays out. As, Roman parking it out in the back. So, the lead driver, they're the one who dictate the run. So they need to maintain drift throughout the duration all the way to the finish line, and it looks like Lucas is going to do so. We're going to go to the replay, though. It's one of those things where if Lucas might have had a mistake, it might have forced the mistake on Roman's part. Who knows? So, get a little true serum here as we're on board with the FPV pilots. And it looks like Lucas poured on a bunch of angle, but I don't see any funny business there. I think Roman just over-rotated. And, that's a big deficit that he's going to have to overcome.
And your veteran drivers are going to do that sometimes. They're going to throw a move on you that maybe you don't expect just to try to shake you. And, hey, what do you know? It shook.
Well, right. And it might have been on initiation, right? We saw that big flick initiation from Lucas.
Yep.
And, that might have just got him off pace, got Roman just a little bit off pace. Or, he might have car troubles because it looks like Lucas is going out here for a solo right now, throwing another big flick into initiation, see if he get a little bit deeper into outer one there. But like we said, when they got these buy runs, they're just working on the muscle memory and maybe trying a little bit of something. Hey, can I flick it in a little harder, get a little bit deeper in this zone? Let's try it out.
All right, gives us a chance to thank Coastal Community Bank. At Coastal Community Bank, community is our middle name. Our bankers take time to understand your business and help move it forward. Coastal Community Bank, an equal housing lender, member FDIC. To the bank. I think we know the winner of this one. And well, we'll get a look at the solo run, but moving forward will be Lucas Dorado after getting one more chance to try the course all by himself with no pressure coming after him.
Yeah, spoiler alert, Lucas won here.
Go figure.
He came out, he got both runs under his belt, goes out there looking very good. He's got those big chromies out back, spewing a bunch of tire smoke, man. So as it was a dry event, we could see that the sun was peeking its head out and then going behind clouds, peeking its head out, going behind clouds. So might have added just enough variance there to throw some of these drivers off. But Lucas, I mean, seasoned vet out here looking pretty good.
So we'll see him again. He is now seeded into the round of 32. This is an actual round of 32 battle between Garrett Theriault out of Lake Stevens, gray camo Mazda RX-7, sponsored by Winter Circle Garage, and Leon Band from Marysville, the green E36, sponsored by Autobahn Garage.
Yeah, if we're speaking of veterans out here, Garrett and Leon, man, they've been out here for quite a few years, seen quite a few battles against each other, and now Garrett back behind the wheel of his FC RX-7, looking pretty good out there. These guys playing Donkey Kong and chucking barrels around, but Leon's just hunting down his door. Garrett's looking very good. It's been a while since he's been consistently behind the wheel of an actual car. He's been sim driving, getting seat time that way, and you know what? It looks like he hasn't skipped a beat in that FC, and Leon finishing right next to him.
Technically excellent run between the two of them. Let's get another look at it from the up top view. Again, it's Theriault versus Band, and boy, they're getting after her.
Yeah, a nice smooth initiation there from Garrett out front. Let's see if we could carve him up. Let's see if we could critique him at all. Leon, like to see him go deeper in that zone, right? Like, if he's chucking barrels around, that's good. It means he's getting in the zone, he's committed, and he's ready for some chaos out here, and that's what we like to see, is just some chaos. And look at that. Leon trying to leave a tire signature on Garrett's door. Man, this is a fun one here, and that's only half of it.
Yeah, tight battle going into the second run. Flip him around. Leon gets to lead, chasing his Garrett into this first turn.
All right, both these guys taking a similar approach on the entries there. Nice smooth entries. They're not flicking it in. Leon looking good, that E36 sedan. Big angle, so you see his rates to angle as he's, going from one direction to another. That car's getting to angle, he sets it, he forgets it, and he just hammers down on the gas pedal. I like what I'm seeing from Leon right there. Could get a little bit deeper in that zone, but look at that. Garrett trying to put a stamp on it at the end, saying, hey, I'm right here with him, and trying to sway the judges in his favor.
We've had a couple of close battles here so far with excellent runs from both cars, and I think you got another one here, so let's take a look. And it all shook down in the second portion of it. Yeah, a lot of angle from both drivers hitting the zones and put out a lot of smoke in this racetrack.
Yeah, a lot of angle from Leon out front. I like what I'm seeing there. Garrett maybe not knowing, how close he can get to his competitor right now. It seems like he's hanging back just a little bit and tries to put the stamp on right at the end. Like to see a more consistent gap between these two. I don't know, man. I'm super stoked that I'm not a judge here and I just get to talk words.
Hey, there we go. Theriault gets the W. He will move forward in the round.
Garrett, nice job,
32.
buddy.
All right, next battle has got Alex Steins. He's from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Black BMW, Rain City Motorsports. David Dodge from Medford, Oregon, the white and green Scion FRS, sponsored by Mike's Performance Marine. And we're underway.
All right, so Alex Steins, David Dip Duck Dive and Dodge out here. Alex Steins, a very good grassroots driver, and I believe this is his V8 car. So I think this is his V8, like, big boy competition car that we're going to see out here at DriftCons all the time. Very nice out front. He's a stunt driver by day, so he knows how to put the car in all the right places, exactly where the judges tell him. And look at that. A lot of confidence right there from David Dodge, and sticking right there with him, cutting through the smoke line, coming across the finish line. This is a nice battle from these two.
Wow. All right.
Wow.
So here's, yeah.
Yes,
well,
sir.
Sorry, simply stated, but at the same time, that's all you can say when you see talent and skill like that.
Choof. Nice swoopy initiation from both these guys. David Dodge right there with them. You can see him on throttle, on the brakes, maneuvering the car, doing what he can to shimmy shake his way to that door. But look at that, Alex Steins, very nice out front, opening the door for his competitor, and the competitor just walks on through, says, yes, sir, I'm gonna stand right next to you as we cross this finish line. Great first run from these two, and I'm excited to see what happens on the second half.
Like you said, it takes a great lead run to have a great chase run. I think we just got two of each. Let's see it again. Flip things around. Dodge leads now. Steins chases.
Yeah, David Dodge looking good out there in that Scion FRS. I believe he has V8 power as well, so LS engine swap under the hood of that thing. Alex Steins right there with them, trying to keep up a bit. David Dodge with that clean air in front of him. He's letting that baby sing. He's stretching his legs, and he's trying to stretch out that gap between himself and Alex Steins as they cross the finish line. This is a tough one for the judges.
Boy. Let's watch it again. My first gut reaction here is it sure looked like Dodge got a lot more angle on this run than Steins did in the chase position.
Oh yeah, you can definitely tell he's working with quite a bit of horsepower, a very well set up car. So, you know, he's able to throw a little bit more angle at the car while keeping momentum in the car and getting it to the right places. Alex Steins trying to keep up with him, looking pretty good out here, but I don't know right here. We'll see what the judges have to say.
What do you know?
David dip, duck, dive, and dodge, and it looks like Alex Steins from Montreal is going to make a first-round exit just like his Habs.
Oh!
Boom! Shots fired.
Hey, there you go. Well, that was a 19 seed upsetting the 3 seed, so coming in. So big upset. Let's take a look at this. Gaston Morrison is the 1 seed in this bracket from Vancouver. He's in the Nissan at 240. Gabriel
Beaurivage.
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah. Montreal it up a bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, throw some poutine on it and let's see what happens.
All right.
You know, out front, Gaston Morrison, he's on the team with Alex Steins, who we just saw. So, you know, Gaston is trying to move on like his teammate couldn't right here. Looking pretty good out front. We're gonna have to look at the replay. I was jabbing on. I wasn't watching a whole lot, but let's see if we can carve him up a little bit. Let's see if we can critique him. Gabe Beaurivage, that is a nice looking vehicle there. Looks like a lot of carbon Kevlar panels on it. I assume V8 power under the hood. If I know this car, I think it makes over 700 horsepowers. So it's a nasty rig, but right now, Gaston Morrison, he is also a stunt driver by day. And look at that, putting his car in all the right places, has a gap, keeps that gap throughout the duration of the run. And I mean, Gaston looking good, and I think Gabe might have a little bit of a deficit to overcome here.
To the point where the drone flyer had to change the angle on the drone. They were putting so much smoke out there.
Yeah, that's
pretty
what we
cool.
like.
It's Beauvriage.
Beauvriage?
Beauvriage.
I don't know.
Thank you to the Crack production team. Oh, that's bad. That's real bad. You're not supposed to do that, and this run is coming almost to an end.
And Gaston ran right into his Beaurivage, you know what I'm saying?
Well, apparently nobody barrels like Gaston.
No one barrels like Gaston. No one runs like Gaston.
I love that I served that up to you and you nailed that. All right, so here's how it went down with the second look.
All right, so right after outer one, they try and go into 2, and Gaston, so the chase driver needs to give enough space for the lead driver to be able to transition, to be able to do the run. But the judges have decided that they want one more time with that battle, so they didn't get to see enough there to make an honest decision, is what it sounds like. So they want to see him run it again. We want to get like a definitive winner out there on track.
I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. All right, so this is a 16 versus 32 matchup. Robin Foster, we know Robin, white BMW self-funded car, and Mark Samoilov.
Samoilov just failure to launch there through the initiation, hucked it a little bit too hard, but Robin Foster, he is the lead driver. We need to keep him honest. We need to make sure he completes this run in drift. And so he's out there in that white E30, the modern day hot rodder here. He's got the E30 with the Lexus V8 in the engine bay. I can't say under the hood because he ain't got one.
No hood.
It's in the engine bay. I mean, this guy shreds. He's a lot of fun. I believe he threw a turb ski on it too.
Ooh.
I think he's got a Shanghai swirly boy on that.
Yeah, that thing will scream.
Yeah.
All right, so here's the second look, and we'll watch Samoilov do things that are not necessarily the best for him.
Yep,
right
so Samoilov just exits stage left, and it's just, and so did the drone. The drone exits stage right, dog. Just Robin Foster taking everyone out on track, and just the only one can survive. 3 enter, 1 leave at this point.
I joke on a weekly basis that the race car drivers and the Uke tires have something against each other. Apparently the drone said, barrel.
Yeah, they're trying to make a mortal enemy out here on track, and let's see if we could get some more of that action. Hopefully the drone is okay, because I really like that drone footage.
I do too. All right, Samoilov with them yellow rear wheels, which is a very strange, interesting first turn.
Lots going on there.
Okay.
There's yellow wheels and not drifting.
Yeah.
So lots of things to shiny object and catch my attention there.
Your ADHD is flaring real quick.
Oh yeah, it's all over the place. Squirrel.
Yeah, through the final corner. Nice proximity from Foster here at the very end.
However, we're going to go into this replay and we're going to check it out because it looks like Robin Foster went straight. So that's one of the ways that you can incomplete on a run. So we're going to get a side-by-side here. This is sick. Let's do this all the time.
Oh.
So both these guys, so Robin Foster right, ooh.
Man.
Maybe it's not an incomplete. It's just a big error on his part.
I was going to say, did he get just enough angle there at the very end?
I don't know. That's a tough one. That's one of those where you're really happy that you have these side-by-sides. So we know that both of these drivers have a complete lead run. Right, so they got a complete lead run here, so those are scoreable against each other.
And a flawed at best chase run.
Yeah, so you know what, another one of these that the judges thought it was too close to call, and they want to get a definitive winner, someone that they can be confident with sending on to the next round, so they're going to send him one more time.
Well, Spencer Bolt is going to run a solo here on this one. Nick Brockmeyer was supposed to go, but his white Mustang broke, further leading to the fact that Ford stands for Found on Roadside Disabled.
Mm-hmm. Yep, found on road dead, fix or repair daily.
Yeah.
Whichever acronym you want to use, it's that.
No offense to the Ford fans out there. I'm just saying that.
100% offense. I am throwing offense at the Ford fans. Bow tie or die, baby. And look at that, Spencer Bolt making it happen. C6 Corvette to the win, to the front, and we're going to go to commercials, Caleb.
We are more from the big bounty tournament coming up next year at Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. Welcome back. Home Track Heroes continues on here on Seattle 11. Big ups, All-Ply Roofing, your sponsor of Home Track Heroes all year long. Danger Ben White, Caleb Hart, we are still in the round of 32, and let's go one more time here in the round of 32. We just saw Robin Foster versus Mark Samoilov, and because we enjoyed it so much, we'll do it again.
Basically, we just need to get a definitive winner between these two. So full-on one more time battle. That means there's going to be two brand new runs. Forget everything you saw before, and let's just see what transpires out here on track as Robin Foster looking good in that E30 BMW, doing a nice job as Mark Samoilov chases him down. This is a lot better than that first set of runs.
Yeah, maybe some nerves, you know, it happens.
I feel it, man. It's tough. You don't know how long these guys have been sitting in the pits just waiting, thinking about this, and then they get on track and go, what do I do?
Right. They've had a practice run, they've had a seeding run, and now they're into the tournament itself, and it's one and you're done. If you don't win, you don't move on. So, hey, nerves are a thing, and a much more solid run number one as we thank Zero Sympathy FPV and Armani FPV for the drone shot. Here's a look at how it went down.
Yeah, so Robin Foster out front in that E30 BMW, like we said. Mark doing a nice job of maintaining proximity. Now we see Robin Foster stretching his legs a little bit, and Mark just trying to do what he can, cutting the line just a little bit to gain some proximity to try and stay in the picture here. But Robin Foster looking very comfortable out front, doing a nice job as they both cross the finish line.
All right, flip him around. Samoilov will go to the outside. He will be the lead. Foster to the inside. He'll be the chase. It's BMW versus Nissan once again. Big deep going into turn number one, and let's see how they settle through.
All right, so Mark looking a little bit dodgy out in front, if I could say. I'm going to use that word, dodgy. It wasn't super confidence inspiring, you know, in the lead run, the way he initiated, the way he's attacking this course, and Robin Foster chasing him down, doing a pretty good job, riding that line, trying to stick with him, trying to leave a stamp on at the end of this run, and Mark Samoilov looks like he's just kind of holding on for dear life and hoping for the best.
Well, it's done. There it is. You weren't watching Aussie Man reviews before you came.
Oh, 100% not.
Couple of dodgy dogs going into the
couple of dodgy dogs.
That's right. All right, so here it is, and yeah, Samoilov, it's a herky-jerky start.
That's what it was. He ran it a little wide. He got a little nervous about that tire wall. That tire wall on outer one, if you grab it with your bumper, it will suck you in. So, you know, it's fair that he got a little bit off throttle, got a little bit dodgy out there. It was a correction to get himself back on track, but look at that. It opened the door for Robin Foster to be there. He's keeping a consistent distance through the track, and right there he's applying the pressure as they cross the finish line to leave a lasting impression with the judges.
The hoodless Robin Foster, forward he moves. Let's go to our next one more time, and this is a replay of Gaston Morrison versus Gabriel Beauvrillage.
Borridge.
Yeah,
Borridge.
It's another one of those, can I buy a vowel? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 vowels.
And they're all right next to each other. It doesn't make any sense. My brain can't handle that.
It is a Nissan versus a Toyota once again, and off running, and nobody's hit anything.
Not yet. Not yet. Gaston Morrison doing a very nice job out front, as we've come to expect from him all the time. Like we said, stunt driver, so he knows how to put these cars in all the right places. Nice angle from him, and Gabe cutting through that smoke line, sticking right there with both these guys, leaving plumes on track. Chemtrails, whatever you want to call them, they're going to affect the atmosphere, that's for sure.
I am glad we got a second look at this, and I'm glad that we got a second time to enjoy this, too, because that was a much better showcase of these guys' talents as they make their way first initiation, and everything looking really good.
Ooh, Gabe coming in that second one on the chase position, he kind of cut the line a decent amount.
Right.
And, you know, he was able to maintain proximity, but the judges want to see both these guys on the same line, right? They want to see the chase driver mimic everything the lead driver is doing. So whether it's angle, whether it's line, they want to see the chase driver be on the same one, but stick right next to him. So I don't know, that might stick against him in the judge's decision.
You said cut the line. That is how do I want to put this? He didn't get out all the way into the zone.
Correct.
Okay.
So these zones, we like to make them mostly outer zones. It makes for better chase runs, chaseability out there. So if he's cutting the line, he's very shallow. He's not as far out on track as he should be, as wide. So he came shallow. He did it to cut the track just a little bit and gained proximity, you know, shallow it up, apex it, if you will.
Yep.
And so that was the strategy there.
You took the words out of my mouth. You'll see drivers do that. They try to do it a little more subtly, though, to regain proximity. That way the lead car doesn't get so far away from them.
Yeah, one of the most noticeable ones, when they go around that north light pole, you can see when they dip that front tire around, that's them shortening up the course, or, you know, over apexing it to try and, you know, gain a competitive advantage there. But Gabe Borovage out front looking very nice, you know, dancing with the line here, getting in on that inner. But man, Gaston Morrison looking pretty solid in that S chassis behind him. Nice run from both these guys. I'm glad I'm not a judge.
Well, the judges say that it was Morrison taking the win. No one wins like Gaston, as we will move forward into the next round. And this is a new battle. Round of 32, Kyle Higa in the red Beamer versus Nick Jardine, the black Beamer. Good Enough Racing sponsors Higa. Jardine sponsored by Bardol.
We have to be so specific with these E36 BMWs right now. But Kyle Higa, however you want to pronounce it and however close you want to get canceled, we can pronounce it that way. But he's out front. Kyle making it happen out there, the higher seated driver. And then who do we say was chasing him down? Nick Jardine, man. He's coming off a podium finish at the Grassroots Round 1 a couple weeks ago. He's riding that high, and he's riding the quarter panels of his competitor right now as they cross the finish line side by side. We're checking it on the replay and get a more in-depth look.
It's the same car, other than, like, they've got the same white wheels. It's the same car.
At least they painted it different colors so we could differentiate them.
Yeah, right.
There's going to be times on here where we got to get more specific. The one with 14 window stickers instead of 13. It's
you
wild.
Caught that.
It's becoming like Spec E36 out here, but hey, I'm not mad about it, because that just kind of shows you, like, that, you know, it's better driving prowess is who's going to move on at that point, right?
There is definitely some favorite car years, make, and models that have pulled out, and this BMW happens to be one of them.
Oh yeah, everyone's figuring out how to make these E36s work, and figuring out that it's pretty easy to make them work as drift cars. So it's becoming a very popular car, just as S chassis were, you know, 2 decades ago, just as Fox bodies were about 10 years ago here, you know, all kinds of stuff. But these E36s, man, you can use them from grassroots level to pro levels, and they just do work. As now Nick Jardine out in front, Kyle Higa sticking it right next to his door, almost leaving a signature on one of those 4 doors, crossing the finish line. Man, let's check out this replay and see what went down.
Nothing says I love you like a tire smiley, as here we come from the drone shot to the back straightaway.
All right, so nice initiation there from Nick Jardine, doing a good job. Look at that side-by-side transitions from both these guys deep into that second outer zone. Nice work there, Kyle Higa, trying to suck into that pocket, making very sure not to cut the line next to that Uke tire, because that's a new front end point. That's not just a clipping point. But man, these guys going around that north light pole, Kyle Higa sucking it in. Look at that crossing the finish line. This is a nice battle, these two.
Higa punted that barrel. You think that penalized him? I mean, Jardine won.
It might have been, you know, because when it's so close, you have to start going a finer tooth comb, finer tooth comb, finer tooth comb. And it might have been, hey man, he hit that barrel. Technically, it might be off course, you know, the way the judges consider it and take it in You know, and it's unfortunate for him, but you know what? Nick Jardine, he is on one. He is out here for blood, and he's moving on to the next round. So the next battle here, what was supposed to be the next battle, was Jamie Tedesco, who unfortunately had a mechanical failure. And this is Sam Yeatman out here on a buy run. He's out here. He's getting that muscle memory down. He's got that C5 Corvette, making it happen out here. Very stylistic car, which you don't really say about Corvettes all the time.
Gives us a chance to thank Evergreen Health Monroe. When your need for speed gets the best of you and you end up needing stitches or having bones set, Evergreen Health Monroe, your full-service community hospital, ready to take care of you when you need them the most, much like, unfortunately, Jamie Tedesco's car needed some stitches.
Yeah.
So be it.
You should have gone there. You should have got healthy with Evergreen Health.
It's Dario time. Dario Reddick, the black with green Nissan, sponsored by the Lime, taking on Dakota Jansen. That's the white and orange BMW. It's 8 versus 24 match here in the round of 32.
All right, so Dario, he's out here with his quote-unquote grassroots car at the big boy competition. It's an LS-powered S13, so, I mean, how grassroots can it really be? But you know what? He makes it work all the time. I mean, he's good. He's solid out there. And look at that. Dakota Jansen right there with them throughout the duration of this course layout.
Fantastic run from both of them. Jansen sponsored by Helmy's Gourmet Foods. You see on the side, and I love my food, so go food guy.
All right, so Jansen knows, he has to know who he's going against right now, right? So Dario Reddick, he was a junior NASCAR Northwest champion. He's been a grassroots champion. He's up there at all these big bounty tournaments, at all these DriftCons, all these events. You know, he's right sniffing podiums all the time. So Dakota Jansen, he read the game notes. He knows who he's going against, and he knows that he could just stick it to his door and basically has to.
Fantastic proximity on that one.
Yeah.
From Dakota Jansen. Let's see what happens when he leads and Reddick chases. You know, Reddick getting a little support from the Got Shop here on his drift program. Nice local guys helping each other out, so good deal. Oh, wow. Reddick, for as good as Jansen was at proximity, right there in his door.
Choof, and Jansen just standing on it. You can see that big smoke line he's leaving off, but Dario Reddick, I mean, his dad's in his ear. He's telling, yo, you got to go at this guy, man. You got to take it out of the judge's hands, and you got to be undeniable out here, and he is 100% trying to do that as they cross the finish line. Let's check out this replay as we got Dakota Jansen. He's out front. He's setting the pace. Big angle on initiation coming through that second outer zone as I'm about to throw up from this FPV. But look at that. we doing flips, we doing twists, we doing barrel rolls and all kinds of stuff. But look at Dakota right there standing on it, giving every opportunity for Dario to be right next to him. And Dario saying, thank you, sir. May I have another? Look at these guys crossing the finish line. Fantastic run from these two.
I would not want to be a judge on this one. Hey, we're going to get to see that one more time.
Dang.
And we're better for it. We are.
Let's go, dude. That's awesome.
We are better for it. All right, 6 versus 22. Jonas Sturdy out of Mount Vernon. That's the gray BMW with the LS swap in it. EJ Radke, we saw him for seeding earlier. He is in the 22 spot. It's the light blue Lexus.
All right, I still can't place where I've seen that Lexus before. It looks super familiar to me, but I don't know. But Jonas Sturdy, higher seated driver, he's leading the way first in that Nardo Gray E36 Coupe. LS power under the hood of that. Popeye on the side. And he's making it happen.
That is the chicken company Popeye.
That's the chicken company Popeye?
Yes, sir.
Oh, Popeye chicken, the shiznit, dude.
Oh, I could go for a strip or two.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Strip or two.
Strip or two?
Let's enunciate that.
Let's have two so we can share.
Yes. All right, so round one. A lot of angle coming into that first set of corners, and well, Sturdy doing what he can to try to shake Radke, but Radke right there.
So Radke, young kid, every sense of the word, just young kid, big string bean of a dude, but look at that. He has no self-preservation mechanism. He's going to stick it right next to whoever he's going against. Jonas Sturdy's a hell of a driver, but, you know, Radke is right there, ready to do battle, and this is a fun one on the first half. Let's see what happens in the second.
Flip them around. Let's look at round number 2, and again, that light blue familiar Lexus to you. And again, the BMW with the LS swap, lots of, ooh, Ooh, boy, that's a mistake at a Sturdy.
Yeah, both these guys LS swaps. I know EJ's got the LS3 under the hood of that IS300. Looking very good out front, looking more comfortable now in this latter part of the course. And Jonas Sturdy, same way. He's dialing in that proximity. He's reeling them in as they come through the power alley and go across the finish line. Jonas Sturdy basically bumper sweeping, or the lack thereof on EJ's part. Man, this is a good one. Let's see the replay. Let's see if if anything's sticking out here.
Did he acquire that car without a bumper cover? Do you know?
You know, I'm not exactly sure the whole dealings, the inner workings of that, but it was on there at the beginning of the day.
Okay, good to know.
I know that.
Okay, good to know.
But
well, here on the replay, I'm looking for something. Sturdy had a little comeback to make. The question is, did he make the comeback here at the very end? We're going to find out in a couple of seconds from the judges.
It was not the cleanest run from both these guys, so let's see what the judges say. And look at that. They want EJ Radke to move on, so they thought he did a little bit better out there on track, and they feel comfortable with him going on to the top 16.
Round of 32 continues. We know this guy, Matt Rushetsky, is the 4 seed. That is the multicolored blue 350, the Lordco Auto Parts car. To his inside, Patrick Ramsey, the 20 seed, the black and red Mustang.
Patty Rams chasing him down in that Fox body Ford Mustang, but Matt Rushetsky, calm, collected out front, looking very nice, trying to get out into all those zones. It's been a while since we've seen him on track. We haven't seen him in this broadcast. So he's just been chilling in the pits. He's been hanging out, but you know what? He's been going through it, that muscle memory in his mind. But look at Patty Rams. Again, reading the game notes. He knows who he's going against, knows he's got to stick it to his door, and he knows that he can be wide open throttle that whole time.
Of the things I'm sure of, this is not the first time Rushetsky and Patty Rams have gone side by side in a drift.
No, heck no. And I hope we get to see it forever. Till the end of time, we see these guys go against each other, because Patty Rams, he is very good behind the wheel of that Ford Mustang, as you can see, trying to massage it around that Uke tire. Matt Rushetsky trying to stretch the legs on that 350Z, but he's not getting away so fast as Patty Rams right there next to him, going through the power alley and crossing the finish line. This is a nice battle between these two. Let's see what happens as we reverse the order. We see Patty Rams out front and Matt Rushetsky chase him down.
Rushetsky's got more power than Patty Rams, right?
100%.
So what is the key when you are overpowered compared to the lead car if you're Rushetsky and making a good chase run here?
So there is like some, car setup stuff that you can do. You can take a little bit of grip out of the car, whether it's, taking toe out of the rear end, raising your tire pressure, stuff like that. Or it could be a little bit of driver technique. If you want a left foot brake a lot during the course, that's how I did it, but I'm a dum-dum. You can left foot brake, keep the vehicle speed down, keep the wheel speed up, so you can maintain proximity and not just drive through a Ford Mustang. There's a lot of ways to do it, and Matt Rushetsky, he's got his own way, and he showed you right there that he's got it basically mastered.
Yeah, he never lost contact with Patty Rams here, while meaning not running him over, and that was the thing. You don't want to make contact. You don't want to flub off basically into the point where you screw up the lead driver's run.
Sure. And, he's right next to him. You could see a little bit of strategy where he gave him some space in one spot, got next to him in another spot, and you know what? He just leapfrogged over him. He's going to top 16 in this next spot.
All right, more from the Big Bounty Tournament next here on Home Track Heroes. Just a couple of matchups left here in the round of 32 at the Big Bounty Tournament here on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. Ben White, Caleb Hart, and round of 32 action continues with the first appearance of Tyler Mayer from Snohomish, the red Nissan 240, sponsored by TMR. Lucas Dorado, we've seen him in seating. He is in the white Nissan, and he has got a tough draw.
It says that Lucas has no sponsors, but I know he's sponsored by the B-Jams group chat, so Lucas, we got you, buddy.
B-Jams group chat.
Yeah, I'm not going to elaborate.
Big funding group, I'm guessing.
100%.
Yeah,
but Tyler Mayer, a little bit of a new livery, a new color scheme on his S chassis this year. Looking good out front, and Lucas knows who he's going against. It's one of the common guys who's going to be at or near the podium all the time, so doing a good job of sticking with them. And, Lucas swears up and down this isn't a comp car,
But
I had to remind him that it's an ex-pro car that he's driving. Yeah, so the drivetrain may not be pro car, but he's in pro car, so.
He's got pro stuff.
He's got pro stuff.
All right.
It might have been from a decade and a half ago, but it's pro stuff.
How much has the technology changed in that period of time?
Barely at all. It's basically like computers in the 90s.
Wonderful.
Anyways, Tyler Mayer, man, everything that we can expect from Tyler and more out front. Just a sewing machine, doing the same thing every time in that lead position, putting his car in all the right places, giving ample opportunity for Lucas to stick it to his door. So we're going to reverse the order. Lucas is going to lead the way now. Got them chrome wheels spinning. And let's see what Tyler Mayer is going to do in the chase position.
Always love watching Mayer in the chase spot because he is so smooth. Although Dorado is doing everything he can to try to shake him. It's a good lead run, but man, that is vintage Tyler Mayer in chase.
Unshakable. Tyler Mayer, you could see he has a different way of how he drops into the pockets on every transition. You got to check this out on the replay. Let's check it out. On every transition, it looked like he timed his throttle perfectly and was able to get to the door, get right next to Lucas, and was just unshakable. So you see right here, bam, right next to him. They transition, bam, he's got that lurch, that sudden speed surge. Every time they transition, doing a good job. You see him just sawing at the wheel, massaging it in, getting right next to his competitor. Both these guys, solid job on track. Love what I'm seeing from these two.
Oh, what a great run. It's too bad that Dorado had to lose because he ran well, but Mayer is so strong.
Just
All
a
right.
giant out here.
Here's the one more time. Dario Reddick is on the outside. On the inside, it's Dakota Jansen. This was a killer battle in round number one. It's a Nissan versus a BMW, and we're off and running.
So sometimes you get those one more times where it's like both these guys are bad. We need to see someone do it good. Both these guys were so good that it's like it was indiscernible. You couldn't tell who had an advantage anywhere on the track. Right now, it looks like Jansen out there having a little bit of trouble in the chase position, was trying to keep his front end out of that Uke tire, and Dario Reddick putting his car in all the right places, looking smooth, calm, and collected out front, is going to have a little bit of an advantage going in the second half of this battle.
Help me out. I thought he had cut the line a little bit earlier in the run, and then with that straighten out at the one point in time, this is bad for Jansen, at least from my uneducated point of view.
Yeah, so Jansen right there. Giving a little boopsie to Dario, but you see he's cutting the line, and he knew that if he kept cutting the line, if he kept on his trajectory, it would have been a bad day for him. So he had to get out of it, had to straighten out a bit to get around that Uke tire, and right now Jansen sitting on a bit of a deficit going into run number two. So he's going to go out there, he's going to have to huck that car, get some big angle, go deep in those zones, and hope that he can force a mistake on Dario's part, but that's a tough hill to climb.
Well, find out. We've seen it done before here on Home Track Heroes, and again, incredible talent here in drifting in the Pacific Northwest, and here at Evergreen Speedway on the Big Bounty Tournament. Don't count anything out, although I'm guessing Jansen probably wanted to get a little bit wider start.
But with Jansen, man, you see he's fully committed on the throttle, got a big smoke line, so he's trying to smoke Dario out, but Dario's too close to be affected by that smoke line. He's right next to him. Door-to-door action, big angle crossing the finish line, and Dario suddenly appears.
Hey, what do you know? Out of the smoke from nowhere, Dario Reddick ends up coming in and through. Take a look at this, one of our killer replays that we have here. Thank you to the Home Track Heroes crew. Home Track Heroes brought to you by All Ply Roofing.
Yeah,
LLC.
so Dario he doesn't have to go in for the kill right here, right? He can keep it a little bit further back, but you know, on this part of the track, it's a little bit smoother, a little less chaos here, and he knows he can apply the pressure as he gets around the light pole, as they get to the end of it and crossing the finish line. He knows he's on an advantage, and full advantage to Dario Reddick as he moves on into the top 16.
And into the 16 we go. That was the final run of 32. So
Indeed.
Yes, round of 16 time. Gaston Morrison out of Vancouver. That is the multicolored Nissan in the top lane. And Robin Foster, seeing a lot of the man with no hood, as he'll run on the inside here in the BMW.
Yeah, so this is a pro car build in Gaston Morrison's S13 going up against that hot rod special of Robin Foster. But we got all the mixes, all the juxtapositions of cars, all the different comparisons you can make. All they want to do is go sideways right next to each other. Gaston looking good out front, but Robin Foster is right there with them, sticking it with them, keeping a consistent distance at least throughout the duration of this run.
Why will they go hoodless? I've never asked you that one.
In this case, I'm not quite sure. It might be a cooling issue on his part. It might be, an overall engine fitment issue on his part. He might just not have a hood to throw on the car.
That's fair.
I don't know.
There could be a variety of reasons.
A variety of reasons, which I have not ever talked to Robin and got his. You know what? Now I'm curious. I'm going to find Robin.
He's also not the only one who does it. We've seen other cars do this.
I mean, I've done it in the past because I've had cooling issues.
Okay.
But Robin Foster has done it since day one. So.
Okay.
So it's one of those things where it's like, maybe it's like, it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Well, he's had many, many years to acquire a hood now and has chosen not to, clearly. So.
Those E30s are rare. They're hard to find.
Wow, wiggling like a fish getting into the first initiation zone.
Got to do something fancy. He's got to wow the judges somehow. He's got that E30 just swinging out there. And, man, Gaston Morrison sticking it to him, trying to take any decision out of the judges' hands and make it all his. But look at this. These two side by side through the whole course layout, looking very good. Robin Foster side by side. Oh my God, these two doing a nice job out here.
Oh, your signature line of destroy all tires. No one destroys tires like Gaston.
100%, dude. I mean, first battle.
That was big.
First battle of the top 16. And I mean, does it get any cooler than this? An E30 and S chassis, both these guys V8 power, but different deliveries on how they're doing that power plant. I mean, both these guys throwing big angle, but Gaston, he is very much trying to keep that proximity through the duration of this course. He's able to do so because he's got a great lead run from Robin Foster right now. Very consistent, very predictable. And look at these guys. This is a tough one for the judges right now. Big angle as we got that third in the tandem line with the FPV pilot.
Wow.
It's a wild one, but Gaston edges it out and gets the win and finds himself a spot in the grade 8.
Wow. Killer run there. All right, so by the way, when someone pukes a motor, that's what it looks like as they apply the kitty litter down here. So Alex Lindsay, kaboom goes the engine. Dario Reddick gonna go solo, and while Dario does that, we gotta let you guys know that Greenshields is your trusted local family-owned store since 1953, specializing in brake lines, clutch lines, and especially high-performance lines designed for drift cars and competitive racing. When precision matters most, Greenshields delivers unmatched quality and reliability. Race into Greenshields today.
So unfortunate happenstance there for Alex Lindsay. It would have been a fun battle to see him with Dario's. Dario throws the 360 across the finish line.
Nice.
And, you know, he knows he's got himself a berth in the grade 8 there. So Dario Reddick moving on. Easy beans for him.
All right, let's fast forward. Matt Rushetsky is getting after her here. Josh Wayne's going after him. It's the 350Z versus the Infinity, them gold wheels.
All right, same-ish kind of car here, G35, 350Z, basically the same for all intents and purposes. I'm not sure what Josh has under the hood of his car. We know that Matt Rushetsky, big V8 under the hood of his LS Power, knocking barrels around. But look, Matt Rushetsky getting later into the rounds. He's hucking the car a little bit harder. He's getting that rate to angle a little bit quicker. And, you know, Josh Weens here, he's trying to stick with him. He knows who he's going against. You have to know who you're going against. I mean, if you be coming to Evergreen Speedway for any amount of time, Matt's been here for well over a decade now, and you can see it in, you know, his veteran driving prowess out there.
Sure. All right, so let's take another look, and you're going to see those barrels go flying, not right here, but right meow.
Yeah, in the second outer zone here, so it looks like Josh knocked those around. So, you know, Matt was right on point. He was barely grazing him. Josh went a little bit deep. You know, that can be held against him if we start going through it with a finer tooth comb. You know, they get to revisit that whole barrel incident as they come around the light pole. Just small evasive maneuvers to get around those.
Did I do that? All right, flip him around. Weens with Rushetsky trying to run him down. Rushetsky, the 4-seat. Weens a 29 seat, so he's already in Upsetville. See if he can pull the really big upset with a monster lead run here.
But you know what? This is looking good. Okay, so good initiation, good second outer zone from Wiens, and it's, you know, opening the door, giving opportunity for Matt Ruszewski to be right there, and he is 100% doing that. He knows that he needs to turn his game up. After this, it's just going to be killers upon killers, and look at that. Wiens, very nice lead run. You see a lot of tire smoke coming from that car, but Matt Ruszewski's there the whole time.
Couldn't quite get the big mistake out of Ruszewski that he was going to need to pick up the win here, we think. Although judges have made decisions in the past that surprise us. We'll see what happens. Wiens out front, Ruszewski chasing.
Dang, the FPVs, they're turning their game up too. They're trying to get that tandem action going as well. Got right on the quarter pounder. Oh, now they're cutting the line, the FPV pilot. Throwing a 360 mid-run. I don't know if that's going to be held against him in the judge's decision.
I got really sick on the Dragon Coaster back in the day, so I'm going to have to close my eyes when we go to do one of those again. Holy cow.
All right, someone who's getting sick out there on track is Matt Ruszewski as he finds himself a spot in the grade 8.
Round of 16 continues. Garrett Theriault, it's the 5 seed, the Great Camel Mazda, taking on Nick Jardine. We saw that black BMW win his matchup earlier. 1-on-1 for a spot in the grade 8.
All right, Garrett Theriault, nice initiation for him. Big angle, almost parking it there. Nick Jardine doing a good job to stay out of his competitor and not make any contact out there on track. Good job from Garrett to you know, keep drifting, maintain some sort of fluidity.
We're going to see it on the replay here, and again, not a judge, not an expert. Oh, wow, that's a lot of smoke. Theriault, though, I think he badly missed that outside zone coming into that second corner.
Yeah, it wasn't great, Caleb. It was not great.
Ideal.
It was not the prettiest, however you want to say it, but I mean, he did not do a good job on that first outer zone, and yeah, comes in way shallow on that second zone. It was Garrett on the lead run, and that's where the judges need that lead driver to be getting to those outer zones to give the chase driver every opportunity to, you know, predict what they're doing and be able to maintain proximity. Look, it was unpredictable, but Nick Jardine was still able to maintain that proximity and stick with Garrett, so nice job by him. So we're going to reverse the order, and now there's going to be a bit of a deficit for Garrett to have to overcome.
Yeah, Jardine's got a chance for another upset here. It's a 28 versus 5 seed coming in here in the round of 16. Can Jardine pull it off? And he got a lot closer to that outside zone for sure.
Yeah, and that's what the judges want to see when you go for comparables. Like, you get into that second outer zone, and the judges are going to be like, well, he did that better. That's one of the things that they're going to look like. He did that way better. And you know what? He looks way smoother out front. Garrett Theriault quite far back for, you know, being on a deficit. You think he'd be a little bit more, you know, ambitious, ferocious, aggressive out there.
Wow.
And he just was not.
Jardine, even with the ejecto bumper cover coming in here through the middle of the course, as we'll watch that happen. Upset brewing in the round of 16. We're about to find out. No, it wasn't ejecto bumper cover. Theriault took it off.
Yeah, he caught it with his bumper bar out front, but, you know, Nick Jardine being the gentleman, he, you know, disposed of it kindly out of the way of the track and said, here, I'll leave this over here. I'll leave my door open for you. And you know what? Garrett didn't take him up on the offer.
Well, survey says Jardine with the upset.
Look
forward to the grade 8. All right, we get 2 Tyler Mayer appearances in one segment. We are spoiled. Cody Smith going to try to take him on in the Mustang as mano y mano for a spot in the grade 8.
Dang, Tyler Mayer with the chromies on his car too, stepping his style game up. Looking good, big angle going through outer one on initiation. Maybe could get a little bit deeper, but you know what? He's predictable, he's smooth, and Cody Smith is right there. Over-rotating is Cody Smith, and that's not a good drifting thing to do. But you know what? Tyler Mayer, we got to keep him honest, right? Lead driver. He needs to complete the course. He needs to finish the run. And, I mean, it's Tyler Mayer, dude.
Yeah, it's like putting the game on easy mode, right? It's like the extra 30 lives in Contra at that point in time, right? Just
100%.
roll on forward for Mayer as we'll take a look at the replay, and you can see the big mistake coming here from Cody Smith.
Yeah, so good transition from these two. Cody Smith is right there with them, doing a good job. It looks like he just snap oversteers. Like he you know, too much rate of angle with it, and I think he might have jammed on the brakes too. So it just made his whole front end just a pivot point and just wrapped it around. Unfortunate for him, because I mean, I've been watching him in Grassroots, I'm watching him here. I like the way he drives. He's doing a good job, Cody Smith, but you know what? He's got a deficit that he's going to have to overcome.
Well, and you're talking about guys at this point in time in the 16, right? The rate of skill is absolutely gigantic, but it also shows you how hard to drive these cars can really be. It doesn't take much to just overcook it a little bit and end up hurting yourself badly.
No, and you know what? Cody Smith knows he's got to do something. He's putting together a very good lead run here, but as he's doing so, Tyler Mayer is putting together a very good chase run, sticking it to his door. He's not hanging back. He's not leaving any doubt in the judges' minds as he crosses the finish line. Both these guys, let's see it on replay, and let's get another look at what just transpired.
Tyler Mayer again, and again, a really nice lead run from Cody Smith here. This is fun.
Yeah, nice swoopy transition from Cody Smith, giving ample opportunity for Tyler Mayer to be right there, right on his door. Little left foot brake, massage that thing in. Yes, sir. Hey, how you doing? Coming around the light pole, going through the power alley, and look at that. Barely a piece of paper between these two. Nice friggin' job from Cody Smith and Tyler Mayer, but unfortunately only one can move on.
And that will be Tyler Mayer. He goes to the round of 8 as we've got more from the big bounty tournament brought to you by Greenshields here on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. Having a bunch of fun at the Big Bounty Tournament here on Home Track Heroes. I'm Caleb Hart. He is Ben White here on Seattle 11. Big thank you to All Ply Roofing, as they are our Home Track Heroes sponsor. We're still in the round of 16, although we're almost at the end. John Daniel on the outside. Samuel Yeatman, Yeet, the orange Corvette on the inside, ready to go. Daniel sponsored by Tire Streets. Yeatman sponsored by Red Line Coffee Company as we're up and running.
I think that's him and his wife's joint ventures, the Red Line Coffee Co. So go support, you know, some of these drifty guys out here. Make it so you can burn more tires. Sammy Yeats out here throwing it down in that C5 Corvette. Very stylish, that wide body on there. John Daniel out front, like we said, got a little bit more horsepower over the brake, over the off season, and looking very good in that Goon Squad S chassis.
Very nice run again by Daniel, although we've come to expect that out of the 17,000-time Grassroots champion here at Evergreen Speedway.
Ballpark estimate.
Big thank you to Zero Sympathy FPV, Armani FPV, our drone guy sponsors. You saw something.
Yeah. You know, a little true serum with the drone there. You saw Sam Yeatman in the chase position. Had a little bit of a straight shot, a straight approach in the chase. I mean, it's one of those things where you see it, and now it's going to stick in your mind. It's like, I can't unsee it.
At the same time, we're getting the benefit of this shot. The judges don't. They're having to watch live and go, bang, that's what I saw. So blink and they miss it, mistake, who knows?
Yeah, they usually have some sort of recording device up there that they can reference, but it's, you know, no bigger than an iPad ever. But right now, John Daniel trying to make the distance between himself and Sam Yeatman no bigger than an iPad. And, you know, it's a little bit inconsistent, but he's going to reel him in here. Sam Yeatman going to pour it on, stand on the skinny pedal, and dang, John Daniel right next to him crossing the finish line.
He says, no yeet.
No yeet.
And through we are on that. Wow.
Yeah, you're definitely not going to take that for granted out there.
No, you are not. Big thank you to Granite. Granite Construction, the proud sponsor of the Granite Cup, and celebrating over 100 years in business. Granite Construction, an award-winning company and a great place to work. Find your dream job today at graniteconstruction.com as John Daniel constructing a run to get him into the 8.
Not the most consistent distance between himself and Sam Yeatman with John Daniel here, and he poured it on right at the end, but you know, I think Sam's little reinitiation there, I think that was the nail of his coffin, as John Daniel gets the win. Is going to move on into the grade 8.
All right, round of 16, another run. David Dodge, he's dodgy, Bedford, Oregon, white and green Scion. Spencer Bolt's got the Corvette on the inside, no hood on that vet. Kind of a shame. As we're up and running.
All right, David Dip Duck Dive and Dodge initiating hard out there. Nice job by him, and look at that. The other one of the Bolts, the Spencer Bolt in his black Corvette with the pink wheels, as we have to get very specific with these cars
and
again.
Yellow trim.
And yellow trim, and yeah, however we can differentiate the two. Right now, he's trying to leave no differentiation between the proximity between him and David Dodge, but David Dodge is just on one, clean air in front of him. He's going to let that baby sing. swing, let that skinny pedal hit the floor, and man, he looked good out front in that Scion FRS.
That was a good run. Let's take another look at it, and again from the drone shot.
Dude, that's a good drone shot coming in on initiation, seeing him just swoop in, just pew, skirt, just like that. Those are the noises I would make.
I was going to say, how was that again?
Just pew, skirt, just like that, dude.
Beautiful.
David Dodge looking good. Spencer Bolt trying to keep up with him. And you could tell that's a lot of car that David Dodge has out there, because that C6 Corvette is struggling to keep up. Man, we're going to reverse the order. We're going to check this out, as now Spencer will have the clean air in front of him, and David Divin Dodge is going to chase him down.
Who knew that the little brother of a Toyota could get that fast? Holy cow.
I mean, you know, you got to do the proper thing and put a V8 in it.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, it's God's motor, that LS motor. Put that in anything, it's going to be a rocket ship.
LS swap the world.
That's right. C6 Corvette comes stock with it, so you know it's just God's chassis. It's just everything that you could ever want. And now that's got some steering angle to it. Spencer Bolt making it look good out there, bashing some barrels around. And they're crossing through the power alley, crossing the finish line. Man, I want to take a look at this replay. I would like to see David Dodge a little bit closer in the chase position, you know, be a little bit more dominant out there. But let's see what happens as we get this dramatic entry from the FPV pilot.
Holy cow. That thing needed the full, you know, Ric Flair theme music entrance as that drone was swooping down.
The diamond ring wearing, the whatever wearing.
Like it or not, it's the best thing going today. Woo!
Man, it's a common theme to see in the second outer zone, to see the chase driver knocking those barrels around, going a little bit deep than that lead driver. That's weird to me. You usually think that the chase driver cut the line a little bit, but you know what? David Dodge looking like he's cutting his way into the grade 8 and getting there the hard way through Spencer Bolt.
Beautiful. All right, that's your boy in a car you may or may not be familiar with, who's got his lights on. Weird. EJ Radke.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Light blue Lexus. Sponsored by his dad. Is that where the money came from? And Chad Wilson, he's got the 350Z in behind him. Here we go.
All right, so EJ Radke out there. He's got those strobies going. Man, they look like they're like construction level strobe lights. I don't know. Craziness there, but looking pretty good. They're getting this car sorted. They had some issues when they first purchased it, getting the car dialed in. They said it was like loose motor mount bolts, so every time he'd rack the throttle, the whole chassis it had so much torque it would twist while it's in drift, right?
Gotcha.
Yeah, so
All
he's
right.
going out there. He's lead position, looking very good, putting that Figs angle kit to work. And Chad Wilson, man, he is very comfortable. He looks very sorted in these 350Zs, and he is becoming a problem real quick for everyone out here at Evergreen Speedway. Making that 350Z, trying to get in the back seat of that IS300. I don't know if there's room. There's monkey bars back there, but he's ready to play around. This is run number 1. I'm excited to see what happens on run number 2.
Just in case anybody from the Washington State Patrol is watching, the tabs are expired on the Wilson car.
Wow.
Thank you to the drone
Wow, why we
operator.
snitching?
That's
Why
just-
we snitching, bro?
Hey, listen.
Dang.
Look, I play by the rules. He should too.
I see how it is.
Contact.
Well, when those tabs are $35 like we voted on, then maybe we can talk about that a little more in depth.
Commentary will help because you're right.
So Chad Wilson, he's out front. He's looking solid out front. We saw EJ try and make some aggressive maneuvers right out the gate in, you know, outer zone 2.
Yeah.
As words are escaping me.
Yeah,
But
words are
let's
hard.
check out this replay. Try and do a little bit of play-by-play. So Chad Wilson, nice initiation there. EJ right there with them. So he's trying to this aggressive maneuver. Oh, a little boopsie there.
Yeah, thumped him.
Yeah, thumped him and got, you know, a little bit too much angle in the car. So EJ finds himself trying to make up this gap, trying to close this gap between himself and Chad Wilson. And Chad Wilson was just like, thanks for the extra 5 degrees of angle. I'm just out here playing by myself, crossing the finish line, making it look good.
And the judges will penalize the chase run on that boopsie, will they not? Well, it
A
doesn't
lot
look
of
like
times.
doesn't look like they
Interesting.
did. Radke wins.
Interesting. So maybe they rewarded his aggressiveness out there on track?
All right.
I don't know. Maybe they saw Chad Wilson might have slowed down maybe a little bit too much going into that outer zone. So it's hard for us to tell. I mean, we're watching this at speed. These judges had a little bit more time to make these decisions, and I didn't get all their notes before this event.
All right, so we're round of 8. Let's just just do first names only here. Gaston versus Dario.
These are two solid first names to
Yes,
get.
sir.
Yeah, Gaston and Dario. So Gaston out front, the higher seated driver, a couple of S chassis, one coupe, one hatch, both LS powered. And look at that, trying to make 2 into 1, coming through on this first run. Dario and Gaston, man, that is a solid run from these two.
When you see the counter steer at like 75 degrees on those tires coming through the corner and like in stereo between them, that was pretty.
Oh, yeah, just fully synced up here. I mean, they're mimicking the transitions. They're timing them perfectly. That's to Dario's credit right here. But you know what? He's able to see what the lead driver is doing. He's able to anticipate when those transitions are coming. And my God, these guys right now, this is a solid run. I'd like to see a little bit more angle maybe out of Dario, but he's sacrificing the angle to gain some proximity. It looks sick. I like what I'm seeing, and I want to see more of it on run number 2.
Somebody needs to get Gaston some custom plates that say Smoke Daddy.
Smoke Daddy?
Oh,
you want some Smoke Daddy plates?
Smoke Daddy plates.
All right, we'll get one Smoke Diddy.
All
Smoke
right.
Diddy plates out there.
I don't think you want to be associated with that last name at all.
No, why not?
I'm just saying.
Something bad happened?
Allegedly.
I had no idea.
Allegedly.
All right, so Dario's out in front, making it look good out there, and you know what? Gaston chasing him down. We're a little bit further away, but look at that. This is the money shot right here, side by side, coming through the power alley. Both these guys crossing the finish line. Let's take a little bit more in-depth look at the replay.
Cut, print, front page, Evergreen Speedway website. Go.
Yeah, Dunsky's here, so good side-by-side initiation. Both these guys taking a very tempered approach. They're not throwing those wild, faint initiations here. They're steering into it, getting that drift going, and then hopping on throttle. So nice job from them. Very respectful of that Uke tire, both of these guys. And look at that, Gaston Morrison massaging it in, trying to get to that quarter panel, trying to get to that door as they're coming across the power alley here and going through the finish line. This is too close for me to call, dude.
Well, you know what? Let's do it again.
All right, it's too close for everyone to call. Let's go.
Bonus drifting for us. All right, Gaston leads. Dario follows.
Pulling right to the line, too. Nice job, boys.
All right, SCG Performance sponsors Gaston. The Lime sponsors Dario. Give those guys some credit for helping get those drift cars out here and entertaining us.
All right, so full new battle. Gaston taking a wide approach at initiation. I like that. Very aggressive on his part. Dario right there with him. Good transition from these two as they come around that first inner clip. Nice job by Dario maintaining that proximity. Gaston, a lot of angle in that car. Like to see that. Look at that smoke line from Gaston, leaving Dario behind. Dario's shallowing up the angle, and he's not able to make up any ground.
Oh, so there may be the difference maker for you guys as we'll watch a second run, and for sure, Dario did lose proximity to him in the later stages of this.
Yeah, Gaston knows, you know, he has to do something a little bit different to get the judges in his favor. And nice wide initiation, get nice and deep into outer one and outer two right here. Fantastic job by Gaston Morrison. And look at that, smoke screen engaged. Dario Reddick doing everything he can to stick up with him. But look at that. You could tell Gaston might have a little bit more horsepower in that car, but he's pouring on the angle, pouring on the smoke, pouring on the throttle, and trying to pour himself a glass into the final four.
All right, well, Dario's got a chance to try to get it back. He'll start with that little feint to the inside.
Little feint. Not quite as deep into outer one as Gaston was on his lead run. And look at that, Gaston trying to stick right next to his door. Dario doing a nice job of being smooth and consistent. Both those guys dancing with that Uke tire, doing their best job to just barely kiss it. Just light smooches, just chicken pecks.
I love this big bounty course.
Holy cow, and them side by side, right next to each other, finishing up next to the crowd, right next to the beer garden. Heck yes, these guys, man, putting on a show for the crowd.
Man, Dario with a really good lead run, but you never saw the boo-boo out of Gaston in the back end. Now, strange things can happen, but I feel like we've got a Gaston move on. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm leaning one way, but I want to see, we're going to go through the true serum right here on the FPV pilot shot, but look at that, both these side by side. And Gaston, look, that's one spot on that first inner with that Uke tire. A lot of guys in the chase position are backing off there, giving a lot of respect to their competitor. Gaston was right next to him the whole time.
No one proximities like Gaston.
One
One more time again. again.
Let's go. Too close to call. So judges saw stuff from these guys. They like both of them. They like both different things from them. And you know what? They want to see it again. I mean, I think they're just trying to get the crowd their money's worth at this point.
All right, Tyler Mayer with the now more powerful John Daniel.
Yes, yes. So this is one of the guys that, you know, John Daniel's gone against. And you know what? They've gone back and forth. But you know what? He's trying to edge him out in some way. And you know, maybe that horsepower is it. Maybe it's a little bit of driving technique here. But look at that Tyler Mayer. Hey, he's out front, and John Daniel did the same thing we just saw Gaston do. He was right next to him on that first inner clip. He's right next to him going around this light pole. They're coming through the power alley side by side, matching angle, crossing the finish line. This is a fantastic first run from these two.
And this is why Daniel made the investment in putting more power in this car, is to be able to keep up with a Mayer on a run like this.
Holy cow. Look at that. John Daniel doing a nice job of dropping some speed, allowing Tyler Mayer to transition there. And look at this, side by side, right next to him, going around that Uke tire. That's what we said. That's a big point of contention out here, and something that's really going to wow the judges if you're able to maintain proximity around that point. Not a lot of people are doing it. John Daniel is doing it. Let's see if Tyler Mayer is able to do it. So we reverse the order, and we sent John Daniel out with the clean air in front of him, and Tyler Mayer going to chase him down.
Mayer was damn near 90 degrees coming out of that corner.
These guys are wild, dude. Let's go.
So spoiled.
John Daniel doing a nice job getting an outer one. Good transition. You see him pouring on that angle, letting it get to a spot, and then bringing it back around the other way. Tyler Mayer right there with them. Look at that. These guys, you could tell that, you know, the upper level of drivers, they're able to maintain that proximity through the entire course, side by side, door to door, wheel to wheel. John Daniel, Tyler Mayer, bumper sweeping, crossing the finish line. Let's go. Let's see it again. Let's get that drone shot. Let's get it going, baby.
You know, I don't usually root for one more time, but I want this again. I want so much more of this again. We're already getting Gaston versus Dario again. Can I get John Daniel, Tyler Mayer again, please?
It's one of those things where you just like feel so lucky that you get to see these guys go against each other in competition, and it lives up to the hype, right? You see John Daniels, you see Tyler Mayer on the paper, on your computer screen, and you're like, I love this. I love what's going on. And John Daniels loving it because he's finding himself a spot in the Final Four.
All right, more coming up next from the Big Bounty Tournament here on Home Track Heroes. The round of 16 into the round of 8 has been incredible. We're in the round of 8. We're marching towards the Final Four here on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11, brought to you by All Ply Roofing. I'm Caleb Hart. He's Ben White, Ben, Matt Ruchetsky, Nick Jardine, who's been Mr. Upset here on the day, going after it for a spot in the Final Four.
I mean, you say Mr. Upset. He was on the podium at Grassroots round 1, and he's quickly becoming like one of my favorite drivers out here because he just throws caution to the wind here. Matt Ruchetsky in the lead position in that Lorco Auto Parts 350Z did not get to outer one there, leaving the door a little bit open for Nick Jardine to gain some proximity, to stick there with him, and you know what, gain an advantage over his competitor here. As you see, man, Matt Ruchetsky taking that wide line, opening that door for Nick Jardine, and he says, yes, sir, thank you, may I have another? Crossing through that power alley, cutting through the smoke line, cutting across the finish line. This is a sick run one, and you know what? I think Nick Jardine, he's leaving a lasting impression in these judges right now.
Absolutely having a great Big Bounty Tournament is Nick Jardine. And you mentioned Grassroots 1. Big Bounty Tournament and such like this in the Evergreen Speedway schedule, not the only opportunity to see drifting here at Evergreen Speedway. It's a regular occurrence.
Yeah, 100%. We have open drifts that you could come out, just, you know, drift what you drive, that kind of thing. This is our upper echelon of a drift competition here, is part of the Northwest Drift Series, is all these DriftCon events and a couple others. But then we have our grassroots level competition, which is, you know, geared toward a closer to stock type vehicle.
Sure.
We have a tire size rule, you know, a couple others that try and keep parity in the rules. And you know what, Nick Jardine, he was killing it out there. He was awesome to watch at Grassroots, and he's even more awesome to watch out here on the big stage with some of these big dogs. He's out in the lead position. He's the pilot car here, and Matt Ruchetsky's chasing him down that Lorco Racing 350Z side by side, door to door. Look at these two combatants out here on track, laying it all on the line. Caleb.
All right. Let's get a look at the replay here, I think. And again, I'm still working on this drift stuff. I'm still learning. I think I caught something on Jardine on his lead run here. Let's see if you agree or disagree. frankly, if you disagree, you'll tell me. So he was pretty solid, although really not providing big smoke yet. It's coming up right through this turn into this one. I don't think he got enough angle here.
He could have had a little bit more angle, but that's, you know, kind of due to just the car, the way it's set up. It's a lower horsepower car, and you know what? He's just trying to navigate through the course, and Matt Ruzetsky, I mean, he's trying to navigate to a podium spot.
Well, he did there, so there's your, into the top 4 goes Ruzetsky.
Dang.
All right, it is David Dodge and EJ Radke, a couple of guys making some noise today. Let's see which one of those two are going into the top 4. Dodge has looked really good, but Radke is pulling out some tricks.
Yeah, David dip, duck, dive, and Dodge out there in front, the higher-seated driver. He's leading the way first. He's setting the pace as EJ Radke is trying to set his tire on his door. Has to jam on the binders real quick to stay out of it. And David Dodge is just kind of on one. He knows he can stretch his legs. A lot of horsepower under the hood of that Scion FRS. And EJ Radke, I mean, he's at the point now where he's just trying to follow his combatant's line and hope that he could do better in the lead run.
It was an aggressive move there from Radke as he looked to catch up and maybe make Dodge flinch. I'll tell you what, both these guys are going to need to go to Tire Pros, pick up some new rubber as they're laying down the smoke. Tire Pros, the official tire dealer of Evergreen Speedway. Tire Pros, your one-stop tire retailer, where honesty's the best policy and they have a hassle-free guarantee. Tire Pros has all the national brands and offers a nationwide warranty on your tires. Go to TirePros.com.
So one thing that I'm seeing here from David Dodge is it does seem like it takes some, you know, an extra like heartbeat to light off on throttle, and I don't know if that's, you know, a typical thing from him, if that's what the judges wanted to see, but it seems like EJ was anticipating him to pick up the throttle quicker in a couple of spots. So we're reversing the order now. EJ playing Donkey Kong and bashing barrels around, standing on the throttle, doing what he can to navigate through this course as best he can. But look at that, David Dodge is right there with him. He's got 4 doors to aim at on that IS300. He's got his bomb sight set on all of them.
I love it. Radke, a great lead run, but Dodge right there on the chase, and our second look coming at it.
Yeah, EJ knew that he had to do something, man. He had a little bit, you know, of a disadvantage. He had some flubs on the first run here, so he knew he had to do something cool, throw some angle at it, you know, throw some tire smoke at it. And David Dodge, you see him grip surging a little bit, so I think that might kind of cater to my first intuition that it takes him a little bit to light off on throttle, or he's kind of, you know, he's got the horsepower as a crutch a little bit. But it's working for him, it's navigating him through, and it's getting him into the Final 4. So David Dodge, David Dick Duck Dive and Dodge, going to the Final 4.
And here we go. We asked for it again. We got it again twice, in fact. Gaston versus Dario. Gaston Morrison, Vancouver, British Columbia. He has got the Nissan 240 Coupe. Dario with the Nissan as well, out of Snohomish. Dario Reddick, and here we go.
All right, Gaston dancing it in on initiation, trying to get a little bit fancy with it, putting some pepper on his eggs out there as Dario Reddick chasing him down side by side, mimicking the line very well. Could see a little bit more angle on Dario's part, but he's sacrificing angle so he can maintain that proximity because he knows that's a faster car that Gaston is driving. Bumper sweeping on transition as they cross the finish line. Nice run from these two. Let's check it out on the replay.
Gaston out there fogging for skeeters around, and Reddick has got the off spray ready to go.
Look at that, just bathing in it, just absolutely bathing in that tire smoke and just loving it. Gaston, man, looking very nice out there, very committed on throttle. Big smoke line from him. You know, he's just standing on it and steering. Dario, you see a little bit tempered approach. He's you know, left foot braking just a little bit, trying to take some vehicle speed out of it, keep that wheel speed up, and doing a nice job of staying side by side.
Could watch these two drift against each other all day.
Yeah,
this is fantastic.
This is very cool.
All right, Reddick is going to take on Morrison. Reddick leads, Morrison chases.
All right, so Dario doing a nice job at initiation. Could be a little bit deeper. It might be that camera angle that makes it seem like they're not as deep out into those barrels, but you know, it just seems like it should be a little bit deeper. Ooh, a little bit of straight driving, not as sideways as we'd like to see Gaston Morrison there in the chase position. Might hold it against him when the judges go to make their decision. They're side by side now. They're crossing the finish line now. And you know what? It's all in the judges' hands from here on out.
All right, we've got one more look at it from the drone.
Ooh, side by side.
Split screen.
Let's go.
Evergreen Speedway production crew here on Home Track Heroes doing work.
It's kind of like a magic eye. You got to get really close to it, go cross-eyed, and then back out, and then you can see it perfectly. It's like a ghost overlay from Gran Turismo.
God,
and that's how we do it. But man, look at these guys side by side. See, look at that right there.
Yep, right there.
Gaston went like a little bit straight there, so I feel like that's something that they're gonna, you know, kind of hold against them. And like we said, judges, when they start having to go with a finer tooth comb, they're gonna pull up something that you're like, well, that's not a big deal. It's like, well, everything else was perfect except for that one little flub. So
and bang.
Yep. Bang.
Wow.
Look at that. Holding it against him. Dario Reddick, he's holding it against him too because he's going to the Final Four. He says, see you later, sucker. Hop on the trailer, and I'm going to try and find myself a spot on the podium.
Gaston was the 1 seed, by the way, so that knocks out the 1 seed here. As now we're in the Final Four, and that is Dario Reddick on the inside. It is Matt Ruszewski, the 4 seed, on the outside and leading here in this run in the Final Four.
This already feels like a high-energy run. You could tell both these cars, just the way that they were moving right off of initiation, were very dynamic. Matt Ruszewski off initiation looks sick, coming around the light pole. Dario's right there with him. Lots of smoke from both these cars, both these guys. LS swaps under the hood, both Nissan chassis, both crossing the finish line. I like what I'm seeing here.
That's a lot of smoke out of Ruszewski. He says, all right, Gaston's out of here. I'll take the Smoke Daddy award. As let's take a peek. Watch how it went down. Matt throughout his day has had a chance to progressively pour it on, and I know he's taken very strategic approaches when he comes out here and he drives in competition, and it seemed like, you know, he was dialing it up, and he knew once he got to this point he's going to have to be on kill, and man, he is just standing on it. Dario's right there with him. He is in frame, but Matt looks like he's on kill right now. Wide through one of those portions, but he had the style going. Let's see how he does as the chase car. Reddick with a little feint. Ruszewski does not buy it. Oh,
right on
in
initiation.
His lap.
Right there, just in his passenger seat, out of his passenger seat.
Eating the chicken nuggets with the sweet and sour sauce out of Dario's tray.
Holy cow. He's got it, you know, Matt Ruszewski has a little curb feeler going off the front of his bumper. I think he's going to leave it on track. I think it's gone. I think he's taking it out on one of these transitions. Oh my God, these guys side by side. Let's see that on the replay. I need to see more of this. I need more.
Okay, more you shall have. Here we go. What a run. Ruszewski, like, just hanging out in the passenger seat of Reddick's car here.
Applied the pressure right out the gate and did not let up. He is relentless throughout this whole run. Dario doing a very nice job of staying out in front, staying committed, doing everything he's got to do. He's got the right line, he's got angle to it, and Matt Ruszewski is right there with him. Maybe even more angle in the chase position, side-by-side transitions. Fantastic job from both these guys, but unfortunately only one can move on.
For a spot in the finals, it's Ruszewski.
Let's go, baby. Matt Ruszewski in the Lorco Auto Parts 350Z, finding himself a spot in the finals. Guaranteed podium position. And let's see who his combatant is going to be. Is it going to be John Daniel, or is it going to be David Dip Duck Dive and Dodge?
All right, off and running. Dodge has got the lead position. Daniel chasing here on the first of the 2 runs.
Wow, and John Daniel, he looks like he's turning it up a notch too, right off initiation, right there beside David Dodge. And oh wow,
no kitty, this is my pot pie.
Man, just dove into the pocket, had to back out just a little bit as David Dodge gets on throttle, lets that LS power plant sing, but man, John Daniel right there being aggressive throughout this run. Let's check it out on the replay and let's see if it all made sense. Let's see if it was smooth, if it was congruent, if it's something we like to see, or if the judges are going to have something to say about it.
I love the proximity. I love it when they're right up on the guy, nearly into his fender. Daniel lost a little proximity at the very end, but
he dives in here, gets right up next to him, has to back out, and maybe back out, or maybe, David Dodge just got on throttle 100% at that point, was wide open, and, was able to establish a bit of a gap. But from there, the gap stays pretty consistent. So that's, one of the things that the judges take into consideration, right? First parts of the run are, it's a little bit more technical. So it's tough for these drivers to stick next to each other, whereas when they go around the light pole, these higher horsepower cars might find a way to get away, and it seems like that would happen with David Dodge, but we're reversing the order now. John Daniels out in front. Nice angle from him on transition to outer 3, coming around inner 1. Both these guys side by side. David Dodge trying to stick right there with them. Oh, man. Tire marks on the door. Can you get them? Not quite there, but they're crossing the finish line side by side. But now it's in the judges' hands. Let's go to the replay.
How did Dodge end up a 19 seed in this? My goodness.
I don't know, and I think, and like it's going to sound rude when I say the horsepower is a crutch, but sometimes the horsepower is a crutch. Right, so you get into certain situations, you throw on big angle, and you're able to use the horsepower to dig yourself out of bad situations. So it seems like that's kind of the way that he's driving the car. It might not be as smooth as some of these lower horsepower cars have to drive. So that's the only thing that I can see. That's the only way I can knock on his driving and see him how he got into the 19th seed. But man, going up against the number 7 seed, they're dead even at this point because they're going one more time.
Let's do it. All right, one more time for a spot in the finals. Matt Ruszewski is waiting on either David Dip, Duck, Dive, and Dodge, or John Daniel, who chases here on this first run.
All right, so brand new battle here. We're going to send David Dip, Duck, Dive, Dodge back out front. We'd like to see him a little bit further out into that first outer zone, but getting out into outer 2, doing a nice job. John Daniel diving in, door to door, giving him maybe a little bit of a boopsie there, giving him a little more angle as they go around that Uke tire. Man, these guys side by side, very aggressive, high energy run from both these guys. I like what I'm seeing. They know they have to wow the judges, and they're wowing me right now.
All right, let's see if we did indeed go through the corner and just get a love tap here. What happens?
All right, so here we go, partway through the run. Looks like just the littlest of boopsies. The littlest of boops, giving them, 5 or 10 more degrees of angle as they come around that tire. And both these guys side by side, you can see a little bit more horsepower in David Dodge's car, able to stretch his legs, gain some proximity there, or gain some gap there. But a nice job from both these guys. Reverse the order. Let's see if we can get a winner from this battle.
All right, John Daniel leads, our multiple-time Grassroots champion. Big angle into 1 and 2. Let's see how they weave through the rest of this course.
Yeah, nice mimic transitions there. David Dodge doing a good job of anticipating both these guys side by side in the same parts of the course. Fantastic job. Little left foot brake, getting that car pivoted around that light pole. Look at this big angle coming through the power alley, side by side crossing the finish line. This is
No,
unreal.
Don't want to be the judge. Do not want. Let's take a look. We have got the replay from the drone with the sun setting in the
All right, I'm back. Puke and rally. We're here.
It's not fair season yet. This is not the zipper. This is drifting. Thank you to our drone operators doing some funny stuff.
Unbelievable job from everyone out here on track during this DriftCon Big Bounty Tournament. John Daniel out front, making it predictable for his competitor. David Dodge looking sick. Both these guys looking too sick because it's going to go one more time.
And we'll do that after the break. The finals coming up next here on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. It has been a banger of a Big Bounty Tournament, DriftCon here. Thank you to Greenshields on Home Track Heroes. Caleb Hart, Danger Ben White. We have got one more time.
2 more time, 3 more time, however many more times. You get a more time.
We have a many more times, yes. David Dodge, John Daniel.
All right, it's been too close to call between these guys for God knows how many battles, but you know what? It's worth the price of admission to see these guys go head-to-head, door-to-door throughout this course. Man, David Dodge out there, out front, seeing if he could do something to wow the judges, something to get them to vote in his favor, and John Daniel will not let him out of his sights, sticking with him. David Dodge, he's got a little bit more horsepower. He's able to stretch his legs. He's able to spread that gap out. But look at that. John Daniel, he's getting strategic with it. He's figuring it out, and he knows what he has to do to maintain that proximity through the latter parts of this course.
Our program all year long brought to you by All Ply Roofing, and here is the second run. Daniel is your lead. Dodge follows. Dodge almost overcooks it in the initiation.
Oh, and that's one of those things when you go into these one more times, you start thinking, you're like, what do I got to do different? I got to do something different to get this win. And you know what? That might have been just a little bit too different from David Dodge as he threw it in on initiation. He, over-rotated a little bit. He's trying to make up for it now, but I think it might be a little bit too little, too late.
That might be all that it took. We're going to get a replay here of what it looked like. John Daniel, hopefully moving on for him. Zero Sympathy FPV and Armani FPV. Big thank you to them for doing our drone work today. And there it was.
Yeah, and you see David Dodge falls out of frame there, and I think that might be it. I'm reading the notes. I kind of have some intuition here as far as I see what's going on, but David Dodge, he's not just going to ride off into the sunset. He's going to ride off on John Daniel's door, leaving some boops, leaving a mark on him, making sure that, hey, this might have gone this way, but I'm going to let you know next time it ain't going to be that easy, buddy.
Now, they're both get one more run no matter what, because third and fourth battle is next. Daniel will battle for the win today. This is for third and fourth between two guys who have had an excellent day between them.
Yeah, fantastic job from both these guys. And you know what? This is a third place battle, and these guys have been going this hard all day. I'm excited to see what happens. David Dodge out front, Dario Reddick chasing him down. David Dodge looks like a man possessed. It looks like he is upset that he doesn't have that guaranteed podium spot. So now he's just going to try and rip it from the hands of Dario, rip it from the hands of the judges. He is out there just absolutely on one right now, on throttle. You see a quick e-brake pull, but right back on it, and Dario Reddick just holding on for the ride.
Yeah, this is Dodge, and it's Dodge dominating this lead run. Whoa. Drive angry, buddy. Drive angry.
Dude, I don't think I've seen Dario get gapped like that all day. I mean, right off initiation here, Dario's there. You see he's a little bit late as he's coming through in the first outer zone of the second. And you know what? Right here is where David Dodge is going to stretch his legs. He's going to send it. And, man, Dario is just doing everything he can to stick with him. But, he gets a little bit of a gap. He sends it. It's not as bad as I first thought. I was talking a bunch of smack. It's not as bad. It's a car and a half. It's two cars, but
at the same time, you could just almost see an attitude difference between the two cars. And I know they're emotionless machines, but no, they're not.
No. When you watch these cars for long enough, and you watch the behavior of cars, you could start to feel the emotion of the drivers. Based on their inputs, based on the way the car is behaving, and based on all the sensory overloads, what you see, what you smell, what you hear, what you feel, and all of it. And right now, dude, I can almost feel David Dodge through my passenger window. Unbelievable job in the chase position there. Let's check it out on the replay as we just gabbed all over it. Let's see if we can cut it down. Let's see if we can do some play-by-play on what actually transpired.
All right, yeah, and like you said, you almost feel David Dodge in the driver's seat here.
Yeah, both these guys were shimmy shaking into initiation. It was hilarious. You see him kind of feint, fake, and then bam, hit the initiation. These guys go into outer three now, and David Dodge is just right there. He is hungry for it. You can tell that he's hungry. You could tell that he wants it. And he's just right there with Dario. He's trying to put his tire on his door, just staying just outside of that. But look at that, side by side through the power alley, crossing the finish line. Fantastic job from both these guys all day.
Wow, fantastic. David Dodge takes third in this one.
Third place, just snatched that trophy. He's like, this is mine. Taking it home.
Dario with a great day taking fourth, too. Congratulations to him. All right, Matt Rushetsky, John Daniel. Not the first rodeo for these two as they go for the Big Bounty Tournament win.
No, hell no. These guys, fierce combatants. No surprise that they're in the finals here. Matt Rushetsky using his grip to catch him on initiation there, doing a nice job. John Daniel is doing everything he can to dive in on these transitions, side by side, coming across that tractor tire, side by side, going through the outers. Oh my God. Right here, are these two cars? Is it one car? I can't really tell. Lordco Racing, Goon Squad, making it happen, crossing the finish line. Unbelievable job.
Oh, they're a freak. They're an alien. They're the fastest kids in the world. Dude, holy cow.
There's sometimes where I watch some of this drifting, I'm like, I'm pretty sure I could hop back out and do this and be competitive. And then I see stuff like this, I'm like, absolutely not. No one should let me behind the wheel of a car ever again. Because these guys are on a different level. They're in a different world, stratosphere. Anything you want to do, any analogy you want to make, I am not even close to what these guys are doing on track. And I mean, it's fantastic to watch. I want to build a time machine so I could go back and I could experience this live, because this is unbelievable right now.
Well, here's run number 2, Daniel Rushetsky. This is for the win here. And guys, this wouldn't be possible here on Home Track Heroes without All Ply Roofing. We'll tell you all about them in a second as Daniel, goes barreling.
Goes barreling, Donkey Konging those barrels all over the track here. Let's see if they rear their heads as they go around the light pole. John Daniel going a little bit deep in that second outer zone, knocking that barrel out of the way, going, that might have cost me. That might have cost me right here. They're crossing the finish line. We'll check out the replay and see some things.
All right, so as you watch the replay, All Ply Roofing, your roof, is your roof keeping up with all the weather, washing and dishes out? Call All Ply Roofing for a free estimate at allplyroofing.com, your residential and commercial roofing team. All Ply Roofing, bang.
Wow.
There goes the barrel of flying.
Speaking of roofing, you see the roof on Daniel's car with the flames on it?
I do.
Pretty sick little move there. Pretty sick little addition. You know, but what's even sicker is the proximity here. These guys are both on throttle, so committed, and they're just right next to each other, door to door, the whole time through track. This is unbelievable. This is what you want to see in a finals, and you know what?
Wow.
It is too close to call.
All right.
So they're going to send him again.
I'm a little surprised that the barrel thing didn't get Daniel there compared to how good Rushetsky was, but we're not judges for a reason.
100%, you know, and there might have been a tit for that tat.
Could be.
You know, there was a barrel hit by Daniel. There might have been, you know, a slight reinitiation wobble from Rushetsky. Hey, I'm not a judge. I'm just a drifting fan, and I'm getting what I want here. And I get to see them go again as Matt Rushetsky out front, once again leading the way. John Daniel gets a chance at redemption here. He wants to bring it closer. He wants to gain that proximity, and look at that. Filing into formation. Here we go. One last transition as they cross the finish line. Cutting through the smoke line was John Daniel and Matt Rushetsky in the Lordco 350Z leading the way.
Smokezilla versus King Kong there on round number 1. Here we go with the replay. We'll have a second try at this with them flipping positions. Wow. Rushetsky and Daniel, I am in awe of the skill of these two guys.
Man, so if there's any critique I can make on Rushetsky's runs, is that the initiation, he needs to get out closer to that first outer zone, but the car has so much grip, he gets right back on throttle, and I think his grip catches him before he's able to float out there. And you know what? That's the only critique I have there. And it looks like John Daniel was anticipating it. He knew what his competitor was going to do, and he was able to stay right next to him and, you know, mimic everything he was doing.
All right, let's see how far Daniel hangs out here on the initial start, almost dropping the rear off the racetrack as he gets into zone 1.
Oh, yeah. Matt Rushetsky taking a very shallow approach through 1. That's an interesting, you know, thing to see from Matt, but we'll watch the rest of this run here as John Daniel navigating the course as he's supposed to, doing what he should. Little wastegate flames coming out from under the hood there as Matt Rushetsky applying the pressure as they come through the power alley, crossing the finish line. Unbelievable job here from John Daniel and Matt Rushetsky.
So I don't remember Daniel having one of our Big Bounty Tournament wins yet. I know he's been the Grassroots champion. He's got plenty of Grassroots W's, but this could be a big one for him here, and I dare say he might be the leader in the clubhouse. We're going to find out. We'll see what the judges think.
Yeah, I can't remember what I had for breakfast, so I definitely don't remember if he's won a championship or won one of these big bounty tournaments. Either one of these guys, I mean, it's kind of a, you know, a roll of the dice, a flip of the coin, whoever you want, because I mean, both these guys putting down killer runs, and it's just, you know, whatever mistake you want to emphasize more, that's what's going to hand the victory to the other guy. So, I mean, unbelievable job from these guys all day. You see both of them turning it up when they needed to most, and now we're going to have to go figure it out at the podium ceremony down up front.
So David, third place for DriftCon season opener. Gotta feel pretty good. It feels great. Absolutely. This is my second pro event, and I came here with high expectations, and I think I exceeded those even. And I was here really just to put on a show for the crowd. I hope I did that. And a good run for you. Yeah, listen to this crowd. They loved it for sure. Who do you want to thank for helping you get out here today? My friends, my family, my teammate, that was my crew, Mike's Performance Marine for the rocket ship of an engine, my tuner, Utopia Motorworks, 36 Automotive Restyling for the livery on the car. Yeah, I can't say thanks enough to everybody in my life. All right, let's give it up one more time. Third place today, David Dodge. So John, we'll start with you. A great run. We came down to the one more time. And how good is it to feel second place for the opening DriftCon of the year? It's almost as good as it was a good run. What more do you think you potentially needed? Did you feel like the run was good? Yeah. I mean, the hell of a driver. It's a competition too. I wish we had more time beforehand, but you know. And who do you want to thank for helping you get out here today? My fiance, all the squad, all the boys. You guys are awesome. All right, let's give it up. Second place, John Daniel. And now for your winner, Matt Bruschewski. Matt, you came down, you came and you conquered. How good does it feel to win the season opener?
I've won a big bounty for 3 years now. It's fun to try.
Yeah, that one kid was a nail biter in the final run. Came down to a one more time. How much was the tire change there for helping you out that final run?
The boys killed it. If I didn't have the tires, I mean, I probably wouldn't be on the podium today without the boys. I can't do it without them. But I mean, John's a hell of a player. And that's what ultimately let me do that.
And who do you want to thank specifically for helping you get out here today?
My team, I wouldn't be here without my fiance, all my sponsors, Lord Racing Parts. We're already running without the motor, so everything's a team effort.
And let's put your hands together one more time for your Big Bounty champion, Matt Bruschewski.
Danger Ben White, what a killer afternoon of drifting, and we get to see it again coming up about a month from now.
Yeah, May 31st is next time that DriftCon's going to be here in town. It's going to be the Highline Tournament, so I'm going to be there live. I'm stoked to be there and be able to experience all this in person.
Next week's show here on Home Track Heroes, it is Outlaw Figure 8, Super Stock Figure 8s, Hornets, Legends, and Mini Stocks. Next time you can be live here at Evergreen Speedway is going to be Saturday, May the 3rd. Late models, Street Stocks, Hornets, Stingers, and Youth Hornets. I am Caleb Hartz.
I'm Danger Ben White. Keep the pedal to the metal and shred all tires.
All right, for Derek, Emily, and the rest of the crew, we'll see you next Sunday night here on Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. Good night, everybody.
Thanks for watching Evergreen Speedway's Home Track Heroes on Seattle 11. Join us next week for more great racing from Evergreen Speedway.